Welcome to the Superstar Communicator podcast. My name is Susan Heaton-Wright, a leading impact, speaking and communications expert. My aim is to show you how to make an impact so you will be heard, listened to and respected for career success. Listen weekly to the podcast and go to our website, superstarcommunicator.com. Hello everybody, this is Susan Heaton-Wright, the host of Superstar Communicator. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now I am aware that a number of you are intrigued by Superstar Communicator and might want to know more about what we do. So I have actually created a top tips download that you can use when you are speaking and communicating, almost like a checklist. If you would like a copy of this, you need to go to superstarcommunicator.com/10 TEN top tips. And I will put this in the notes for this particular episode. It will give you some ideas of how you can raise your game so that you can become a superstar communicator. And one of the things I believe is really, really important is to know the purpose of you speaking. Why are you speaking? What's in it for your audience? In other words, you are focused on the outcomes of your audience or the people that you are speaking to. And I believe this really, really ties in with the guest that we have today. Claire Boscq Scott is an international speaker. I met her since lockdown, so I've never met her in person, but her focus is on customer experience, putting your feet into the shoes of the customer to make sure that they have a very positive experience. And that goes really well with respecting and loving your audience or your clients or your prospects, because you can demonstrate that you really value them. So before we get on, let's introduce Claire. So welcome, Claire.
Hello there, Susan. How are you? So lovely to be here.
It's just brilliant because we are both speakers and we've met through various speaking organizations, Keynote Women, and also the Professional Speaking Association.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've never met, but we've certainly built some kind of relationship. That virtual world is just amazing, isn't it? Really, without having that real face-to-face, you can still build really strong relationship with people and rapport. And I think we know each other so well.
Absolutely. So the reason why you're on here is because you are a specialist in customer experience and customer care. And we both know that spoken communication is key to that. So I'm passing over the ball to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, my background is hospitality, so I've always been in that kind of industry of service industry where you're here to care for people and then you're seeing them having fun and just the best place in the world, really, working in hotels. And then at the time we used to have mystery shoppers, mystery guests who used to come in our hotel and give us some feedback. And I actually realized that on my little island of Jersey, there was no one doing mystery shopping. And so I had, that light bulb moment. And I decided to chuck my job, sell my house, get divorced and start fresh.
Was it in that order?
All of them together, actually, all at the same time. If you're going to do something, do it right? So I did all that and I set up the business. That was 11 years ago. And the idea was really mystery shopping. So measuring customer service to really improve that service delivery, understanding what you're doing right and identifying areas where you can really improve your service delivery. So communication in customer service is absolutely crucial.
Now, I'm sure that there are people listening today that are thinking, but I get all of my communication virtually. I get text messages, I get voicemail messages, I get emails. And for those people listening, you won't be able to see Claire's face in the response to this.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing with the pandemic. It has actually opened up so many new communication channels. And the thing is, when you do, yes, you're thinking you're doing the right thing because your customers want to have a chat box, or you think maybe they want it, maybe they don't. Have you asked them? Those are questions that are really important. But also by opening so many communication channels, you may not be delivering the same service from one touch point to the other. So it's really important that if you are communicating with your customers at every touch point, you are measuring it, you are really, you know exactly what you're going to be delivering, how long to pick up the phone, how long to answer an email, what are you putting in that chat box, who is managing that, and all those things need to be part of your whole brand. This is really important, that brand experience.
Do you think that there can be some problems with the data that you're measuring? Could you be measuring the wrong things?
Absolutely. So there was, with the mystery shopping program, there's a study and a case study that I always talk about. It was an American company, and they were selling the big kind of retail shop, selling stationery, and they had a mystery shopping. Every month they were doing so well, 90%, 100%. Oh, they were all so happy. And then the big boss thinks, we're doing so well with those results, but that profit is rubbish. We're not increasing anything on our profit. What is going on? So the CEO takes a mystery shop questionnaire and go undercover as your undercover boss, as an undercover mystery shopper, and actually goes through the questionnaire. There wasn't one question asking about sales.
Oh,
not one question from the engagement of the employees asking, do you want something? Any upselling? Can we close the deal? Can I show you something else? Not one question. And as soon as they realized that, they've changed the questionnaire and they were about, and suddenly, bing.
That's so interesting, isn't it? I mean, I'm thinking in the back of my mind about banks, about the fact that, yes, you could be measuring there's more engagement because people are using digital to bank. But I think of my parents who are in their 80s who don't trust online banking, plus the fact my dad has Alzheimer's, so that there is a danger factor, risk factor if he were to bank in that way. Yet the data doesn't support the fact that there are some groups that are excluded. What would your comment be on that?
Yeah, I think so. Again, it's really about understanding your customers and being very clear about your avatar, as we call them. So our customers are different groups of customers, come in different ways and packages and have different needs. And you need to be very clear to personalize everything. And this is the key. We're all people, and people really want to be felt, valued, and important. So for business, you need to understand what is that group of people need from us and how can we deliver it. And if you do that for all of your groups of people, you really will be able to really kind of understand and give them and exceed their expectation, not just meet them, but really exceed their expectations from all the different age gap. When I was there's a story in my book when I was just starting. My daughter was about eight years old, and she used to love being a mystery shopper. Absolutely loved it. She had a little pad, and she used to write people's name and what color their dresses were, and she really was very excited. And one day we went to a restaurant, and we were just starting with that new group of restaurants, and I've asked her to go to the toilet. So off she goes to the toilet, 8 years old, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and just about to get up and go and where she is. And she runs back and says, Mom, 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 you don't know what happened. I said, well, I don't. I was a bit worried about you. And she said, well, I was on the toilet and suddenly the light went off. Can you imagine?
Yes,
You
poor
can
kid.
imagine.
Yeah.
So she's here on the toilet, not being able to see what's happening, not being able to open the door. She's too small, so the light is not coming. It takes her a little while to actually manage to move the door. And once the door, she makes the sensor move,
Yeah.
the light went on. So we feedback that to the company. And yes, they've changed their sensors. They've never realized that light for the children were not sensing at the right level. They never really thought about their little people's journey. And so from that downward, they started to look at the whole journey for the little people, from what they ate to the menus that they offered, what else could they have, crayons on the tables and things like that, to obviously the sensors in the toilet. So you see, being able to really understand the journey for your different type of customers will really help you to give those great, amazing customer service.
But we are in a pandemic at the moment, and believe it or not, as we speak, with very restricted movement, and there are many, many companies that are really struggling financially. Surely customer service and customer care is going to cost a lot of money.
Well, this is the trick, isn't it? Customer service doesn't cost anything. Smiling doesn't cost anything. Saying hello doesn't cost anything. Being polite, caring for people, doesn't cost anything. Answering the phone with a smile and, how can I help you, doesn't cost anything. And those are the kind of things that you see that they are not taking seriously. And I think customer service is seen as a cost rather than a benefit. And so we cut all the trainings, we cut all the all the extra bits, that the measurements and the surveys and the mystery shopping. We cut all those things because they're cost. And actually, no one listened to their customers. No one's asking them how they are feeling. No one's really asking them, how was the service? How can we improve? What do you need from us at this moment in time as a customers? If we can't do that, can we do something else for you? Those are key now. We need to be, stop spending money on advertising because you think you're still trying to drain people to you. But if you don't understand what you're giving them and how you're giving it to them, it's no point to have people in your, on your website if you're not able to deliver and meet their expectations.
So do you think that good customer service means that you can retain more clients?
Well, this is the key to business, isn't it? You can increase your customer loyalty. And there's a figure who says, just increasing your customer loyalty by 5% can increase your profitability between 25 and 95%, Susan. Isn't it the way to do your business?
It is the way to do the business, but there's a little voice in my mind saying that millennials, slightly younger than me, I don't know if slightly young, possibly slightly younger than you, that they tend not to be so loyal to a brand. What would you say with regarding customer service for that demographic?
I think still unconsciously they may say they're not, but the day they find a website who works, who gives them the things when they want it, how they want it, how quick they want it, they can replace it without being asked why and how, they will stay loyal. And that's subconsciously, if people care about you and make you feel that, you are of value to them, they will stay. I mean, my daughter's 18, so she's in full millennium mode. Well, she'll go to she'll buy online, clothes and she'll go to the same people because she knows she can buy 10 items and send 7 back and they'll refund her, no problem, no questions, no ask, no this. She doesn't have to pay for the postage. Why would she go somewhere else?
Yeah, absolutely, right? Works for her. And
so make it as simple as possible. Keep it simple, stupid, isn't it? We say that, but increasing your customer loyalty is simple. Give them what they want, how they want it. Be flexible, be adaptable, and be able to be here when they need it. And that's,
Now we're talking a lot about communication, and you and I know that in this pandemic, that the human connection is even more important, isn't it? We are human beings, we're social animals, and yet, I don't know about you, but I get more and more digital communication, including how well did I do from Amazon and DHL and all of these delivery things. And then they want you to do a sort of 5-page questionnaire.
Yeah, I think we're a little bit of survey fatigue, don't we? And that's why when you do it, it's right to do it, but keep it simple, keep it very short, and keep it very simple. And just that one question, would you buy from us again? And if if they say yes, if they say no, they won't. It's just as simple as that, right? But yes, we are serving perhaps maybe too many. And maybe because it's not focused enough to exactly what you want to know, then how do they use the data? How do they analyze it? And how does that really help, to increase your customer loyalty? There are things that, you do, for example, when you got your loyalty cards in your supermarket and, they know that you're buying the same things every month. So they'll send you a coupon. So they're going to buy it. This is intelligence, that artificial intelligence that we can use to make your customer feel even more loyal. So those are the really kind of very, very interesting tools that technology is bringing us. But we need to remember, like you said, Susan, we are all human, and having that human connection, that emotional connection, is really, really important.
Oh, very, very important. And so we move on to the 3 top tips. And I always ask my guests for 3 top tips. In this case, it is around customer experience, customer service. So far
away. So, it's probably something that you talk about all the time, Susan, but a little exercise I do when I do customer service training with the employees or with leaders is that communication behavior style, and really kind of getting the people to understand that we're all different. We'll behave in different ways. And so when they start looking at it and thinking, oh, that person does that, this is why they're doing that, I understand now. You can see the sparkle in their eyes. So being able to really do that with your team, your employees, and with your leaders, because then they manage their team better. And looking at the communications behaviors and the communication styles is really, really a cool exercise to do. Number 2, mindful listening.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we need to be very mindful. We need to be present, whether we're on the phone, whether we're with, on the chat box with our customers. Listen to what they say. Listen to what they don't say, and this is, that comes to my next kind of tip, is the non-verbal communication, the cues that are non-verbal. No one says anything. It takes 7 seconds for somebody to make a perception of you by just the way you look. So you walk into a room, you're picking up a phone, you're on the Zoom call, somebody will make a perception of you within 7 seconds, whether they like you or not. So you need to make that first impression count, don't you? So look at the non-communication cues. Look at the words that they're using in an email. How does that, how does it relate with the conversation? Are they angry? Are they happy? Do they need your help? Are they calling out for help. Those kind of things are really important. How are they on their Zoom call? Are they like this, with their hands on their face? Are they yawning? The non-verbal communications cues are really, really important. So reading your customers, being able to really kind of see, what is said and what isn't said.
Oh, those are 3 brilliant tips. And for anybody who runs a business or who is leading or managing, I believe that those tips would be applicable there too, wouldn't they?
Absolutely, totally. I mean, those kind of things are training that, I give every part of it. Everybody needs to understand why. So, we'll do some exercises with the employees that they're rolling out their eyes and somebody else is talking at them. And you're just like, how do you feel now? It's like, oh, how rude. And suddenly they realize that they may be doing that in their environment. You can see their faces thinking, oh dear, I'm sure I've done that before. So communication is absolutely key for building relationship and being here, increasing your customer loyalty.
So before we finish this amazing interview, I know you've written a book.
Yeah.
And you've talked about it. Please tell the audience about it.
Sure. So this is The Secret Diary of a Mystery Shopper. Woo! You've seen the journey. You've been around seeing the journey. I published a book in September. It's been a decade I've been doing mystery shopping. So I have got quite a few stories in my pocket, which I've been kind of keeping away secretly on the little book somewhere. And with everything that happened, I thought, you know what, it's time just to get some of those stories out and being able to help businesses to see what could happen in their own business if they were doing this, or if they were improving that, or if they were training their staff better, or they were creating a better journey. So those are true stories, the good, the bad, and the exceptionals. So if anybody wants to download it, it's on Amazon or it's on my website as well. You can order a hard copy if you want one.
Oh, and I will leave a link to that in the notes for this.
Brilliant. Thank you.
But how can people get in contact with you, Claire? Because I'm sure there are going to be listeners who would like to have a discussion with you, to work with you.
Google me. You will find me everywhere. I'm on social media. I'm on all the platforms, and my website is claireboscscott.com.
And I will write that in.
Yes.
In the notes as well. So, is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
Just, one thing that I always say, we are certainly entering a new era, and, it is really time for businesses to really kind of take accountability of what they're doing and how they take care of their customers, of their employees, and of the environment that we live in. And this is really key. Bring more care into what you do, and you will see how much care they will give to their customers, to your customers.
What a brilliant end to this interview. Claire, it has been an absolute honor and pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you so much. That was just lovely speaking to you, as ever.
Oh, until next time, this is Susan from Superstar Communicator. Thanks for listening and keep well. Wow, what a fantastic interview from Claire with so many takeaways. Whether we have customers that are face-to-face, possibly not at the moment, but if we have a restaurant or they come to see us, we can really focus on their experiences, but it also applies to anyone over the world, because many of us are working with clients all over the world. And if we can think about how the experience is for them, so it's very positive, then it only leads to more business and a more positive image about your business. Which is why I will remind you about the 10 top tips, the checklist for Superstar Communicator. If you want a copy, it is superstarcommunicator.com/10 top tips, and I'll put the link in the information about this podcast, because I really want to be able to add value to you listening to this podcast. So until next time, this is Susan from Superstar Communicator. Thanks for listening. You have been listening to the Superstar Communicator podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and review the podcast on iTunes and on apps. Please contact us if you want to discuss any topic, could suggest a topic for us to include, or a guest who could come onto the podcast. Go to superstarcommunicator.com.